Hello, my name is Travis Monk. This is one of a series of videos on classification and evolution. In this video, I will provide an overview of taxonomy, which is the scientific classification of organisms. The picture on this slide shows how the killer whale is classified. The reason that this organism is classified the way it is, the major groups of organisms on Earth, and the classification of humans will be described within this video. Taxonomy, as described in the previous slide, is the scientific classification of organisms. This classification is not determined on a whim, but based upon structural and chemical similarities that organisms possess. While the classifications of some organisms can change as new information is gained, it is still very important. Taxonomy is a universal system that allows everyone, regardless of the country that they're in or the language they speak, to describe what organism that they are talking about. In addition, taxonomy provides a way to organize the tremendous number, millions, of different organisms that are found on Earth in a logical way. The current means by which organisms are classified was developed in the 1700s by a man named Linnaeus. In this system, many levels are used to organize these millions of species. The different levels of organization are listed in order from largest to smallest. The kingdom level of organization is the largest. As the image on the right shows, in blue and on top, there are a wide variety of organisms that could fit into this large category. Worms, fish, elephants, and dogs would all belong to the same kingdom as humans, which is Mammalia. The next levels contain fewer and fewer organisms, again shown in the picture to the right. In descending order, they are the phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species level of organization. At the bottom level, the species level, there would be only one type of organism that would be found. With this system, there is a two-naming system for describing what organism you're talking about. This system is referred to as binomial nomenclature and uses the organism's genus and species. Humans can be described universally as Homo sapiens. When writing an organism's scientific name, it's important that you capitalize the genus, but not the species, and that you either italicize or underline the entire name, as shown in this example. If you have trouble remembering kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species in order, the mnemonic device King Philip came over for good spaghetti might help. The scientific classification for humans is provided on this slide. We belong to the kingdom Mammalia, the phylum Chordata, the class Mammalia, the order Primates, the family Hominidae, the genus Homo, and the species Sapiens. There are many reasons that humans are classified in the manner in which they are, some of which will be elaborated on in the next few slides. Humans are mammals, hence the class Mammalia. We're defined as mammals for a number of reasons, some of which are shown on the right. Mammals typically have a few common characteristics. They're warm-blooded, they give birth to live offspring, they have hair, and they possess mammary glands. There are some exceptions, some outliers, but this is the general idea. Humans belong to the family Hominidae. All members of the family Hominidae are mammals, so they would be warm-blooded and they would possess hair. But they also possess some more specific requirements. They have proportionally very large brains and they walk on 2 feet. Your pet dog may be able to walk on 2 feet for a short period of time, but this refers to the normal means by which an organism moves. Some birds may walk on 2 feet, but they're not mammals, so they wouldn't be hominids. When classifying organisms, one of the most common systems is referred to as a 6-kingdom system of classification. There are 6 large groups that all organisms are funneled into: Plantae, Animalia, Fungi, Eubacteria, Archaebacteria, and Protista. Each of these kingdoms will be described in a little bit more detail on the upcoming slides. The kingdom that you're probably least familiar with is Archaebacteria. Archaea refers to the fact that these bacteria are ancient. While virtually every surface of our planet is covered with bacteria, it's not usually this type of bacteria. Archaebacteria are usually referred to as extremophiles, as they're found in locations that most organisms find inhospitable. Examples of this would be hot springs shown to the right, where scientists are trying to obtain samples. Some bacteria are as genetically different from one another as humans are from other bacteria. Despite that, all bacteria have one thing in common. They lack membrane-bound organelles, such as the nucleus, defining them as prokaryotes. Barring exceptions, all bacteria, including archaebacteria, are unicellular. Most produce their own food and are defined as autotrophs, but few obtain their nutrition from the sun. They are not photoautotrophs, organisms that obtain their energy from the sun, as we'll talk about in the unit on photosynthesis, but chemoautotrophs, organisms that obtain their energy from chemical reactions. The group of bacteria that you encounter more frequently in day-to-day life, that cover every inch of your body and billions of which are found inside of you, are referred to as meaning true bacteria. These bacteria also lack a nucleus, can be defined as prokaryotes, and are usually unicellular. Many bacteria are heterotrophs and many are autotrophs. The picture on the right shows a heterotrophic bacterium that causes a number of diseases in humans and other animals. Streptococcal infections cause strep throat, meningitis, scarlet fever, and urinary tract infections. The third kingdom provided is Protista. Protists include organisms such as protozoa, shown in the top picture, which is an amoeba, and algae, shown in the bottom picture. Protists are very diverse. They can be single-celled or multicellular, autotrophic or heterotrophic. There are two things that are true of all protists. They are eukaryotes, as they possess membrane-bound organelles, and they lack tissue differentiation. That is, they don't have different types of cells that make them up. The next classification of organisms are fungi. These organisms can be unicellular or multicellular, but all eukaryotes are heterotrophic. While these organisms may sometimes look like or may be mistaken with plants, none of these can do photosynthesis. They obtain their energy by decomposing other organisms. Like plants, these organisms are not motile. They cannot move on their own from place to place. An example of a multicellular fungus, a mushroom, is shown in the top picture. Yeast are unicellular fungi, used by humans to produce alcoholic beverages and bread, and are exhibited on the bottom picture. The fifth kingdom is Plantae. Plants are all eukaryotic, autotrophic, and multicellular. Just like fungi, they are immobile and can't move on their own. The picture on this slide exhibits aspen trees, examples of plants. The last kingdom in the six-kingdom system is Animalia. As the image to the right depicts, there's a tremendous variety within this group of organisms. In fact, the chart on this slide shows only a narrow sampling of organisms that would qualify as animals. All animals share a few characteristics. They're all eukaryotes, heterotrophs, and they are all multicellular. A 5 or 6 kingdom system might have been already familiar to you, but scientists typically add another level of classification to the hierarchy. The highest level, called the domain level, forms what's called a 3-domain system. In this system, eubacteria belong to the domain Bacteria, archaebacteria belong to the domain Archaea, and all eukaryotes belong to the domain Eukarya. That is the end of this video, providing an overview of taxonomy. If you're interested in learning more about evolution, classification, or any other themes of biology, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.